Star Wars is back on the big screen with The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Gangsters, war criminals. I'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
On May 22nd, feel the Force on the biggest screen possible.
The old protect the young, and the young protect the old. This is the way.
Buckle up.
Always wear your seatbelt.
The Mandalorian and Grogu. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters May 22nd. Get tickets now.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bullspend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had. Impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
No one goes to Hank's for his spreadsheets. They go for a darn good pizza. Lately, though, the shop's been quiet, so Hank decides to bring back the $1 slice. He asks Copilot in Microsoft Excel to look at his sales and costs and help him see if he can afford it. Copilot shows Hank where the money's going and which little extras make the dollar slice work. Now Hank's has a line out the door. Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheets. Learn more at m365copilot.com/work.
Adobe Acrobat, your team's home base. Collaborate within a shared PDF space. You've got your docs, your plans, your specs, and then invite the crew to build what's next. They talk up the teamwork. Here's an updated render. They think that this design could be a contender. And when somebody wonders what's the next step, AI helps you finish the rest. Bolts are tight, now your plan's refined. Run a smoother business when you're all aligned. Do that with Acrobat. Learn more at adobe.com/do-that-with-Acrobat.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Let's welcome the Philadelphia Eagles class of 2026. The draft class, that is. Welcome to Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, jointly produced here by the Eagles Pinpole Podcast Network and the STT Sports Network over on YouTube. Guys, whichever platform you're watching on, whichever format you're listening or watching this on, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. We wouldn't get through the draft process without all your great support. So please do that. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm Phil Stifle. You can also find me posting live at 8 a.m. on Monday morning, every morning actually, Monday through Friday. 90 minutes of sports talk trending in the AM on YouTube on the SDT Sports Network. I got Monday's episode linked below. Bring your thoughts and opinions on everything we're going to go over here on this NFL draft class, on this Eagles draft class, to that show so you can have your voice and opinion heard. So let's get into it. The Eagles shockingly did draft 8 players, brought in 9. We'll get into the details here in a second, this draft class here. And I think there's a lot of talent and a lot of very good players that have been brought into Philadelphia, especially at the top end of this draft. The Eagles were able to trade up in the first round to draft Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, USC, the Biletnikoff Award winner for the top wide receiver in college football. Got a very Amon-Ra St. Brown, Julian Edelman type vibe to him. They did have to trade with the Cowboys, giving up both their 4th-round picks to move up to 20. But this is the 5th time in the last 6 years that the Eagles have been able to draft a player in the first round well past where their ranking was on the consensus big board. He was ranked as the 14th best prospect, maybe the best wide receiver in the country, and he was starting to fall some personality interview, questions with him. But we got him at 20th when he was ranked 14th. John Campbell, we got at 31 last year. He was ranked 16th. Q we got ahead of, Jalen Carter ahead of, or after where they were projected, Devontae Smith. The only guy we drafted since 2021 that wasn't, in this scenario of being rated higher than where we got him was Jalen Carter. So, or Jordan Davis, and we know how that's worked out as well. So we got great value in Mekhi Lemon there, obviously signaling the end of A.J. Brown on June 2nd. We know that. It also tells a little bit about maybe the direction with this offense, with the Tavian Wicks, Hollywood Brown, and now Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon, who obviously top wide receiver in college football last year, only 28% of his catches were outside the numbers, which means he patrols the middle of the field. He finds the soft spots in the zone and the defense to catch the ball and then run after the catch. You're going to see a Sean Mannion offense, it seems more and more likely every single week, every single day, every single move that's made. They're going to try to target the middle of the field there a little bit more, and we'll see how Jalen Hurts does with that. In the second round, they drafted Vanderbilt tight end Eli Stowers. He will be the Dallas Goedert replacement eventually. He's like a big body tight end version of A.J. Brown. Definitely can play over the middle. Some of his on-line of scrimmage blockings are questionable, but he does block well in space. Only been playing tight end for a couple years now, so still plenty of room to develop there. I love the play. We know we needed a tight end. Thought they'd go in round 3 tight end, but they got the guy they wanted there from Vanderbilt there. In round 3, they got Markel Bell, a tackle, a developmental tackle, so to say there, from the University of Miami, a guy that I had projected going to the Eagles, but not till like round 4 or 5. But when we get through the round 4 trades, to get Mekhi Lemon and some of the other things they do, they felt they needed to get him there. He's a massive guy, 6'9", 346, did start 21 games in his career at Miami at left tackle. If that hits, and he is the eventual replacement for Lane Johnson, having bookends of Bell and Mailata and their behemoth size, that'll be something. That'll be really scary for opposing defenses. They did not have a round 4 pick. They also did not have their other round 3 pick. We'll get to that in a minute. Round 5 was their next draft pick. Cole Payton, North Dakota State quarterback, another developmental guy. I know North Dakota State. I know what we think there, but it is what it is. He's got some upside. Only had 1 year starting at college. Accurate quarterback, not the greatest arm strength. Very mobile, very multifaceted type guy. Could play a Taysom Hill type role in this offense, depending on what this offense even looks like. All right, round 6, Mekhi Morris. You got to get one Georgia Bulldog every draft. He's a guard, 6'5", 334. Round 7, they made 3 picks. We're going to go over them out of order. Cole Wisniewski, Texas Tech safety, small, hybrid safety, linebacker type role. Lots to develop there. Can do good coverage of a tight end running back. Not very good at covering slot wide receivers. So some work to be done there. Keyshawn Jones, newbie edge, New Mexico. Smaller edge rusher, but did have 9 sacks last year. Uses his size very well. Could compete, in that rotation at edge this year. And in the International Player Pathway Program, in the middle of round 7, they drafted Uar Bernard from Nigeria. He's projected to be a defensive tackle, but just raw athleticism off the charts, 6'4", 306 pounds. Never played a second of football in his life. They're just trying to strike lightning in a bottle with this guy, kind of like they did with Jordan Mailata. They actually picked up an undrafted free agent, which we'll go over later in this week, that also from this pathway that, program that with no football experience. But they also obviously made a big trade as well on day 2. We knew Jonathan Grenard's been linked to the Eagles for a while from Minnesota, and Howie Roseman did pull off the trade for Jonathan Grenard, trading the 98th pick in the 3rd round, plus a 3rd round pick in 2027 for Jonathan Grenard. They then instantly gave him a 4-year, $100 million, $50 million guaranteed extension. And I'm still a little on the fence on this. I know Jonathan Grenard is a great player and has a lot of potential. He's going to be 29 in May, right? But his sack numbers and his sack production is very inconsistent. 3 years of his career, 21, 23, and 24, he's got 32.5 sacks. His other 3 years in the league, only 5.5 sacks combined. So last year he fell from 24.5 sacks in 23 and 24, 12 and 12.5, all the way down to 3 last year. He still had a very high pressure rate, 18th in the NFL, in pressure rate at 16.7. For comparison's sake, Jalen Phillips was 18.8 last year. Jalen Hunt was 16.4. And Nolan Smith was 15.4. So he's already our best edge rusher at a pressure rate thing. It's just where's the sacks? Why the sacks? And $100 million for a 29-year-old, only 50 guaranteed. So there's that. We'll see if he can, on a defensive line with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and whatnot, get those big numbers that he's had a couple times in his career. Time will tell on that. But overall, I think this is a great draft. You've addressed a lot of the holes. We've got another we got more weapons. We got some, development on the offensive line. We got an potentially elite edge rusher. So I think all in all, it was a good draft. There's still a massive hole at safety. we'll talk about that throughout the week, and I think there's some plans in place there with the Eagles. But drop your comments. What do you think? How would you grade this draft class? This was just a recap. All week long, we're going to dive deeper into some of these players, some of these moves, and, of course, the undrafted free agents because, rookie minicamp will be coming up very soon here for the Eagles. So with that being said, guys, tune into Trending in the AM live at 8 a.m. Hopefully I'm a little less congested, and you can hear me a little bit better tomorrow morning, or on Monday morning. But everybody have a great day. Go Birds. We'll talk later. Bubbles up.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Unlike other AI, Slackbot lives in Slack. It understands you, your team, and your work, so you can ask it for help with anything.
Can I ask it to summarize client feedback?
Yes.
Can I ask it to find time for a meeting?
Absolutely.
Can I ask it to turn our meeting notes into a launch plan?
Sure.
Can I ask it to call me the boss?
Actually, you can.
The balls.
See how Slackbot can turn you into
the balls
at slack.com/meet-slackbot.
Your favorite local grocery stores like Kroger, Ralph's, Fred Meyer, and more are now delivering on Uber Eats. Get 40% off your order of fresh, quality ingredients. Whether you just got home to an empty fridge or suddenly got a craving to whip up something new, you can get everything you need delivered in as little as 25 minutes. Get 40% off your order with code Kroger2026. Plus, members get $0 delivery fees. Order now on Uber Eats. Orders of $30 or more save up to $25. Ends 4/30/26. See app for details.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on, or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This episode is brought to you by Beneful. Dogs of the world, lend me your ears, snoots, and little toe beans. We've been sitting and staying for boring food for too long. It's time to demand high-quality ingredients, fresh from the pantry. Together with Beneful freshly prepared meals, we can start a mealtime revolution. Can I get a woof woof? Kick boring in the bowl with Beneful freshly prepared meals. Visit Purina.com/Beneful to shop now.